Combat commanders at all echelons need to have, in advance, the best possible tactical intelligence on current threat capabilities, vulnerabilities, and likely courses of action. This threat evaluation is a function of intelligence preparation of the battlefield, or IPB. Each commander needs to see the battlefield in the perspective that fits his echelon, to cover his area of influence and area of interest. Such needs are translated into priority intelligence requirements for each commander, and the intelligence efforts to meet those needs are threat evaluation and determination and evaluation of areas of influence and areas of interest, which are the first two steps in the five-step process of intelligence preparation of the battlefield. Historically, threat evaluation as a process in the intelligence organization lacked standardization. Collection and analysis were subject to broad variances in the intellectual levels and reporting format preferences of the individuals assigned to intelligence functions. Until the concept of IPB was developed, there existed no comprehensive doctrine or standardization for incorporating threat evaluation data into a graphic presentation of the tactical situation.
Today we have a continuous analytical process for knowing the enemy, as well as having an intelligence product for timely, accurate graphic presentation of threat information, all displayed through the templates and overlays of IPB. Threat evaluation begins with a thorough study of existing documentation. This includes both classified and unclassified information that relates to enemy order of battle, doctrine, tactics, weapons and equipment, and associated battlefield functional systems. Among the many phases of threat evaluation, the first order of business is the structuring of a threat database, or the updating of an existing threat database, including order of battle factors such as composition, training, disposition, logistics, strength, combat efficiency, tactics, and miscellaneous data. Order of battle technicians draw upon existing intelligence holdings of the National Security Agency and the Defense Intelligence Agency. These higher-level computerized databases contain integrated ground order of battle information. Theater intelligence and indigenous products are distributed from corps level in text and imagery formats.
The division receives computerized printouts of threat data, as well as threat order of battle handbooks. In addition to the various sources of collateral intelligence, the division draws special intelligence from the Seawee Battalion, including signal intelligence, communication intelligence, and electronic intelligence. Friendly foreign intelligence sources provide data through theater and corps as well. From the all-source intelligence system, requests are made for specific products that will deal with the potential threat and the commander's geographic area of interest. The division files are tailored to cover specific enemy units. For continuous updating, the intelligence analysts maintain plans for requesting collection efforts to meet the commander's PIRs. The collection manager designates the primary collection source to be tasked for each type of intelligence that may be required. The threat database at division is made up of various forms: order of battle cards, computer readouts, and file folders of organizational details, training and tactics of specific enemy units, standard order of battle data that shows combat strength, organizational equipment, disposition of forces, and logistic support systems. The Technical Control Analysis Center develops electronic order of battle files that can reveal the numbers and types of enemy radars, sensors, and jammers to accurately display their disposition and capabilities for radio-electronic combat.
Threat doctrine comprises a major component of the threat database. Generally, Soviet tactical doctrine holds that a decisive outcome can be achieved only through offensive action.
their highly mobile forces are trained and equipped for offensive action in conventional, nuclear, and chemical environments. Threat evaluation research by the intelligence analysts includes extensive collection and intensive review of the doctrinal writings of enemy military leaders and authorities. The Soviets publish a quantity of open literature on military doctrine and tactics in books that derive from exhaustive research by military specialists and graduates in military science. Senior Soviet officers have authored books on operations and tactics and have chronicled their experiences and theories in a flow of articles published in military periodicals. Our study of Soviet tactics has also been a valuable source for our intelligence analysts. For decades, a large body of both military writing and training publications have been concerned with the potential battle in Central Europe between NATO forces and those of the Warsaw Pact. Analysis of threat doctrine reveals how the enemy deploys his forces at all echelons, how he prefers to view the battlefield through reconnaissance and sensors, how he drills and trains individuals and units to fight.
His doctrinal publications, manuals, and circulars reveal concepts of operation for deployment and movement to contact in a meeting engagement, a breakthrough, and in pursuit, as well as in retrograde and defensive modes.
Threat evaluation would be inconclusive without carefully considering significant personality traits of known enemy commanders, such as traits demonstrated by General Katukov with the 1st Guard Army, which have for many years conditioned definite tactical patterns, remaining as a continuing part of Soviet tank army doctrine. Intelligence analysts collect and evaluate all available significant information concerning enemy commanders. Their personality factors are added to the database in the form of personality cards, and the data on those enemy commanders within the division area of interest are integrated into the IPB process. The personal background of each commander is analyzed to formulate some insight into his temperament. The source of his military education and experience are looked at, and known training methodology are studied for clues as to preferred combat tactics. And above all, a review is made of any published writings by those commanders. Analysis of threat doctrine can help to answer in advance such key tactical questions as: how and where will the enemy attack? Where will second echelon forces be deployed? How will he be likely to concentrate large tank formations and reconnaissance forces? Where will he concentrate field artillery and supporting fires? How long would an artillery preparation last? When might a nuclear attack occur? When and how might a chemical attack be coordinated with conventional combat?
Threat tactical doctrine tells us how the enemy sees the battlefield, how they prefer to move and shoot and communicate. During the process of threat evaluation, while continuing to build or update the threat database, the intelligence analysts begin developing doctrinal templates, such as this one, which depict how the enemy would like to fight without terrain and weather constraint.
The entire process reaches beyond first echelon threat forces to include in the threat database and templates his doctrine, tactics, weapons, and equipment, as well as battlefield functional systems that are appropriate to the battlefield at hand. Battlefield areas in which the commander must exert influence immediately, and one which is of significant interest due to potential enemy activity in the near future, is step 2 of the IPB process. The commander's area of influence is the battlefield area where targets must be acquired and fired upon by weapons under that commander's direction. The commander's area of interest is the battlefield area beyond the area of influence, where enemy forces are capable of affecting future operations. The area of interest must, as a minimum, encompass the potential threat. To win the air-land battle, the commander must see his area of influence and area of interest in all 4 dimensions: X, Y, Z, and T. He sees his area spread across width and depth and to accommodate aerial operations and terrain in height and time. Time is the most critical, while distance as guidelines may vary greatly, depending upon the terrain and enemy tactics. The mission of the division is to coordinate and support the brigade battle, to disrupt, destroy, and delay assets which can influence the battle. These mission responsibilities generate information requirements. The division must know the locations and intentions of 2nd Echelon Division of the 1st Echelon Army, the division or Army nuclear delivery system and Army-level support assets. The division commander should have knowledge of the battlefield from his rear area to 150 kilometers forward of the line of contact. In conjunction with Step 2 of the IPB process, the analyst begins collecting map sheets for the battlefield area, requesting photographic coverage of the area, and searching document files for existing studies of the area and coordinating with terrain and weather teams.
These actions are basic to the preparation of templates that reflect the real-world playbook of the enemy, combining threat evaluation with battlefield geography.
In the continuous analytical processes of IPB, Step 1, Threat Evaluation, and Step 2, Determination of Area of Influence and Area of Interest Zones, may be ongoing simultaneously with Step 3, Terrain Analysis, and Step 4, Weather Analysis. Each of the 4 steps may proceed individually, but concurrently they contribute to building the IPB graphic product, Threat Integration, that answers the commander's priority intelligence requirements.
Threat evaluation begins with the earliest identification of a potential enemy and continues in the event of and throughout hostilities to update the threat database and the IPB templates to support tactical decisions on a real-time basis.
An integrating process brings together the doctrinal templates, which reflect the enemy, how they organize and train, their combat system capabilities, and how they prefer to fight, integrated with the terrain and weather, throughout the commander's area of influence and area of interest. The process displays avenues of approach and mobility corridors, detailed with critical nodes and estimates of events, activities, and timing, all culminating in a graphic presentation of the intelligence estimate of the situation, which translates into decision support information. Prior to the enemy attack, the division commander and staff have seen the graphic IPB presentations of enemy tactical doctrine and the indicators of probable courses of enemy action. They have knowledge of his preference for massing at least a 2-division front and his plan for tank divisions to exploit the breakthrough. The IPB process has integrated all source intelligence to produce a near real-time presentation to support the commander's decisions for conduct of the air-land battle.
Intelligence preparation of the battlefield has joined the integrated battlefield and the extended battlefield to identify and display requirements and opportunities to see deep and begin early to disrupt, delay, and destroy the enemy's 2nd echelon forces. The effectiveness of threat evaluation was voiced decades ago when one of our victorious generals called out to the vanquished field marshal, "I read your book."